Right.
The person can't speak, you can't too.
That's right. And they may be enabled to do a lot, way more than what regular black folk can ever do in their whole entire life because they were raised by someone who has money, means.
So you get that privilege, but
right. It's like, what do you do?
or at least that privilege mentality, but without the privilege, because people will still see you as black. So it's a little dangerous because if you're, I would like that too. It's like, you know, you feel like you can go out here into this store and just walk around and be on your phone inside and out of your bag and not knowing that people are watching you or yes, you're suspicious or the way you speak to a police officer. It's like, oh, I'm chilling. Speak. No, I'm just with my friends. Blah, blah, blah. You reach for something, you know, you're not educated on how, unfortunately, I hate to say it that way, but how, you know, to act or what you have to be aware of as a black person in society.
No, you're right. It happens. Just like when, you know, people go to PWID or PWIs, like if you're black or Hispanic or Asian, but you were raised in a very, very nice neighborhood. So you're just thinking it's just the same thing as when I go to these predominantly white institutes, like Harvard or MIT or Brown, like you said. I'm going to be treated, you know, the same as everybody. No, just because you came from a nice Mayberry or whatever, to them, you still a nigga. You still an Asian person. You still a Hispanic person. You still a Spanish person. You still Russian. Everybody got a bias about everybody.
Right. Extends beyond just black people. Same with driving. It's like a whole lot of stereotypes.
That's right. Because Russians can have it bad just like we do. Jewish people have it bad just like we do. It's just different levels of it. You think?
So it's like Jews, I guess, more the religion, the culture than it's just the race. Like Muslims, sisters.
Gotcha.
Asian, black.
It's crazy. Dang. Yeah, it's like everybody gets persecuted in their own schools, religion. It's just like, okay, if I went to Africa and they know I'm African American, they're like, you were still not African. You were not one of us. Trust me, you were not.
They talk about us. Damn
right.
Okay, well, my ancestors paved the way for you to be here, so don't play these games with me. Like, your black ass couldn't be here without my black ass.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right, because they don't accept it. Like, everybody thinks that. White people think that all the time. Like, oh, but you're from Africa, you should go back.
There's a divide and conquer. I mean, I grew up around a lot of Caribbean folk in New York, and it's like, I love all my people, but they saw me as something else. I was not one of them. I'm black, they're black. No. I'm American. I'm Yankee.
There you go.
They are Island. They are whatever. So there was a divide with that too.
There you go. So see, everybody always thinks it's white. I'm like, no, it's every you can be Indian if you're not a white Indian, and you're dark, you get prosecuted. I'm like, persecuted. I'm like, really? But we're all Indian. We're the same exact fucking. We're all from the same, but nope.
That's what Hispanics too. I think in Mexico they just is it Mexico maybe? I think they were just recognizing their Afro community. Afro-Cubans as well. I find the Dominicans too, it's like, you know, there's still that whitewash more or less in society, in telenovelas and everything else. It's like the lighter skin, straighter hair.
That's right.
Hispanics and Latinos.
No, you're right. Because it's not like you just because you speak Portuguese.
Yeah, I should say Portuguese, Spanish.
Right, but they still don't accept just because you like, oh, hey, I'm a part of you. You would not.
No, because Central Americans do not mess with Latinos or the more Caribbean, Spanish-speaking country. Central America is highly racist. My friend, she's Dominican. She was just like, yeah, that was you're on another one.
You can go to certain parts. My homegirl, Andrea, Jamaica hard. She worked, you know, all day, but she was like, nah, certain parts where my mom is still from. What the fuck does she call it? You know, like they speak patois. But then there's another Jamaican to where it's like, man, how does she put it? It's how she has to say it. I can't say it correctly, but I'm like, wait a minute. So I thought all Jamaicans were on the same picture. Like, hell no. We still have revolutions too. We still have our own civil wars. We have our own. We're not taught it because we know we're in America. They're not gonna teach us. We don't even know our own history. You think they're gonna teach us? And when she said that, I said, you know what? You perfect. Because you're right. Because I don't know shit about Jamaica. I really don't. I don't. I know the food a little bit, and that's still even nowhere near what we're supposed to know.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many products they've stolen from Jamaica or Mexico, like sugar cane to types of spices, salt, sugar, rice. We've stolen a lot of shit from people, and we claimed it on our own. Think we inventions. Black people have invented a lot of shit.
Half the things, more than half the things we use or create. It's just they don't say it. But we know more than the things that they give us credit for when we started. Even country music. Music started with. It's like white people didn't create this. Y'all may have taken it over like everything else, but y'all did not create this. This is like what? And you heard it? Wow.
This world. Yeah, well, let me get down this road because I gotta put my car in the shop before the snow thing comes.
Oh, yeah. No, take care.
It's a problem. But it needed to happen because I've had that car for a long time now. It's been paid for over 2 years. I've enjoyed my no payments. But I really haven't done anything to it, so it needs to get fixed.
Yes, I enjoy my little car. I could not imagine having to pay for a car monthly. That's ridiculous. I'm not looking forward to it. I'll put all the money I can into this little baby. Keep it running so I don't have a car payment.
It is so great. I love it.
These days are not affordable.
And if I do get a new car, it better be brand. It's gonna be worth it.
Right. If I'm paying for something, it's gonna be top of the line.
Right. I'm tired of just buying a used car. I'm like, nope. I want it new. I deserve it. You deserve it. I deserve it. We're gonna make it. As far as the body image thing, it's a lot of people, male and female. I think Terry Crews went through some shit like when he was got that role with the Expendables, the action movie with all the other old heads from the 80s movies. And they had like this team of guys hunting down that guy, blah blah blah. It's a good movie. All three of them are good. But even he's, The Rock, same way. In wrestling, I didn't know how chunky he kind of was. I just thought he was in shape. I'm like, right, body slam people, But if you looked at him, I forget the hell he was talking to. It wasn't Kevin Hart. It was one of these shows, Red Table Talk type of thing, right? And he was showing, he's like, no. If you look at this video, you can see where I have my pants hiked up to my stomach line. You can't even see my belly button. I was like, huh. And I never would have noticed this stuff until he points it out. Because I'm just thinking, we ain't looking at no guy's stomach area. He ain't fucking, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't have noticed that shit. But he's like, no, I had a little pooch because I was a heavier guy. And from football, we always ate. I was bigger. I went to University of America or the University of Miami and all that good stuff. So we ate like kings and queens everywhere we went. And I picked up a lot of weight. And Rock was. I seen him in football. I'm like, wow. Yeah, he looks real happy. I'm like, wow, okay. So he has a body conscious thing too. He's like, no. And think about the movie with his name with Kevin Hart, the CIA movie, whatever. He's like an agent. And remember in the beginning when they both went to high school, Kevin Hart was popular, right? He was fat as shit. He said that actually was a real life type of thing that he told the director, like, no, can we add this in? I was like, I never would have known this shit if people don't explain it. And he was like, no, I had to actually get a surgery to where I had a little bit of lipo. They went in, they took it out. That's kind of the only way. He said, you can work out forever, but sometimes when you get stubborn body fat down there forever, for years.
Yeah, it's just not gonna go. That cortisol. Cortisol, whatever it is. That belly fat's just really hard.
It's hard.
What you do.
So he had to get lipo, and it's a certain thing that people don't like to admit.
I think he didn't he tear some of his ab muscle anyway?
Yeah, he works out too damn hard to even certain roles he couldn't.
Where he I can't remember how. Not fractured. You know what I mean?
No, he was messing for a while.
His abs
Mm-hmm.
tore them.
Yeah, he tore ab. Oh my god.
A sprain or something.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's why he couldn't get all of that.
Ryan Reynolds, the same thing. He kind of tells the same story. You ever see that Christmas movie? It was a long ass time. I didn't know how old he really is. I thought he was. He just looks good, for his age. But I'm like, yo, he's been acting for a hot minute.
Yeah.
Because I think he's in his close to 50. Or, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Because his wife just had a birthday. She's younger, but I didn't know he was that old. I'm like, wait a minute, so you're like 10 plus years old? I didn't know that. I thought they were in the same.
Yeah, she's definitely younger.
He's been acting for a hot minute. I'm like, oh, yeah, he was in that movie. He just wasn't popular. You know what I mean? He was, and he was heavy. I'm like, oh. But if you look at certain movies like Deadpool or, yeah, he's damn near phenomenal shape. And he said the same thing. He's like, yeah, Hollywood only wants to cast certain people. They only want, you can't be funny in fact. Only if